Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Magic Hour. I'm Curtis Hood.
I'm Paul Chappell.
And we are covering the Spider-Man Far From Home movie. Now, if you're new to this channel, we are going to spoil this, but in the previous video that Paul did, he's already done the no spoiler episode. So we're going to get straight into the story because he and I haven't talked about what we thought about this movie yet together. So, first of all, it's a fantastic movie.
Compared to the last one, yes.
Absolutely. And I mean,
what'd you think of the last one?
Lackluster.
Can you even remember a scene from the last
really.
one?
Hey, we were just online, and I was like, "Oh, Michael Keaton was in the last one." I was like, "So that should tell you what you need to know."
Yeah, it was kind of bad. I like Michael Keaton in the last one. Though. He did a good job.
I like Michael Keaton. It's just that's the impression that the last one left on me. You know, and I tell you what I did in preparation, not for this movie, but just to get into the Spider-Man flow of things. I watched the animated Into the Spider-Verse.
Yep.
Man, oh man.
That was great.
Oh man. That movie was so good. But it opened up a lot of doors and introduced a lot of crazy characters, which happens in this movie.
Yeah.
So it was star-studded again. I mean, everybody knows a lot. Tom Holland and
Jake Gyllenhaal
and Zendaya. You know, all those guys are in there, and everybody does a great job. But this movie was action-packed.
Okay, well let me pose a question to you. See if we're on the same wavelength.
All right.
Who was the villain of this movie?
Tony Stark.
Exactly. We are on the same wavelength.
Tony Stark.
Okay. Technically, it was Jake Gyllenhaal.
Right. But
as Mysterio.
He was created.
But he, like everything, like what, 5 other villains in the MCU. The reason they're villains is because Tony Stark either pissed them off, or screwed them out of some profits or something, or his father did. So that has been my conceit for a long time, that Tony Stark was actually the villain. He created Ultron. His father created pretty much who's the guy in the first movie, first Iron Man? I forget his name.
That played what role?
The villain. Jebediah. His father was the reason Jebediah became a villain, because he made his son CEO everything.
Right.
So Howard Stark does bear some responsibility too. And then like Whiplash was somebody Howard Stark screwed over.
Right.
And then Tony Stark actually screwed over the guy in the third Iron Man, or just was kind of messing with him. He became, and like I said, he made Ultron. Who else? But anyway, this guy, Quentin Beck, was working for Stark, and Stark screwed him out of his holographic technology.
Yeah, and fired him.
Yeah, and fired him. Gave the technology for some reason to Peter Parker. Now he's dead, and he's still screwing people over. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it was a twist, but I always had the feeling in this movie that, well, that can't be it.
I knew it when they, of course, you know it when they, there's some threats in the movie.
The elementals.
Elementals. And once they defeat the last elemental, something's wrong, because you're only like 30 minutes into the movie, like, okay, something's not right, because they're not going to end the movie now.
Right, exactly.
He's got to be a bad guy. But
and that crossed my mind. I was like, somehow this guy isn't right. And I'm talking about Jake Gyllenhaal's character,
Mysterio.
Mysterio was he pretended to be from a different dimension.
Right.
And that because his world was destroyed by these elementals, And
they came.
They were coming to Earth, and he was coming there to fight them.
Because the snap created this
tear in
the space-time continuum. So now there's a multiverse. My question is, when you find out that he's actually from this Earth and not from another Earth, and this is all bull.
Yeah, it's all lights and mirrors.
So is there actually a multiverse? Because he actually made that up.
Well, no. I mean, if you go back and look at that, because I had posed this question to my wife, I said, if you go back and look at things that happened with the snap and Guardians of the Galaxy and all these different characters, are they all in the same universe? I don't think so. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is from a different universe.
You're talking about the end game when they come.
Right. Well, when they just come onto the scene. Mm-hmm. Are they on this universe or of another one?
Right.
So if they're from another one, then that means there is a multiverse.
Right. So because the time travel, the whole thing with the time travel thing in Endgame was that they were afraid of creating multiple timelines. So for that to happen, you got to assume that there is multiple realities.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So there has to be and that Into the Spider-Verse, they talked about that a lot in that movie.
Right.
But anyway, I thought the movie was action-packed from beginning to end. I thought that Nick Fury was a total asshole in this movie, man. Well, I mean, they haven't made him that bad.
Was he actually Nick Fury, though?
What?
Did you see the very end credit? The one at the very end?
Oh, I didn't stay.
You didn't stay?
After that mid-credit?
Because usually I don't stay either because, man, I usually have to use the bathroom. When those credits roll, I'm out of my seat running to the bathroom usually. Right. But I didn't have to go this time, and I stayed to the very end. So, we've already said spoilers, but if you haven't seen it, at the very end it is revealed that Nick Fury and Maria Hill are Skrulls, or whatever they're called from Captain Marvel. The guy, the shapeshifters.
Oh yeah. Oh. See, I should have stayed to the end.
Yeah.
Dadgummit.
Which didn't make any sense because they're not. Your first assumption is that are they working against the Avengers or are they working? But then they cut this Nick Fury. He's on a spaceship, a Skrull spaceship, and he's on the phone with the guy playing him. And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, well, Peter Parker did this and that." And Nick kind of hangs up on him because he's on vacation on this ship because he's in this room it's a hologram room and it looks like he's on the beach, but he's not. The hologram disappears and he walks out of the room and he's on the spaceship. And like I say, he gets a call from this guy who's playing him. So that wasn't actually Nick Fury in the movie.
So Nick Fury was using a Skrull to play him?
Yeah, so I guess so he could go on vacation.
Oh, wow.
That's why in my no spoiler review, I tell everybody, I don't even think it was worth. That didn't make any sense to me. It was kind of like they were just trying to be funny or something.
Right.
I was like, why? What was the whole point in having, just so he could, there was no other point other than he wanted to go on vacation. So him and Maria Hill, so they sent the Skrulls to do everything they did in that movie.
Well, that's interesting. I wish I'd have seen that. Sorry, my phone's over here making a noise.
But so that was one thing. But we're going too far now.
Yeah, because we need to get back to something you had mentioned in your no spoilers review and your opinion on MJ. Your changing opinion of MJ.
Well, if you watch that review, you will see me changing my mind mid-sentence because I start off by kind of really dragging her performance because to me she was she had this dead eye expression, like this bored expression on her face.
Yes.
And I was like thinking the whole time, I was like, this is the woman Peter Parker's going gaga over. But then while I was criticizing her in that last review, I like stopped myself because I started comparing her to the MJ from the original trilogy, and I'm like, she should be more like, because I was thinking maybe they should have made her more like the original MJ. But I was like, what exactly was her personality in that original trilogy? Because it felt like she didn't really have a personality, more like she was either there to be saved by Spider-Man or to kiss him up while hanging upside down, or like to reject him when they need to create some drama,
right?
And have you think that she's going to marry this astronaut.
A very single dimension character.
Yeah, but she didn't really have any purpose other than plot points to cause Peter Parker to have something to struggle against. And so when I started thinking of it in that aspect, the portrayal of this MJ was a lot more attractive to me. Although I'm totally not on board with him being infatuated with her. Because just from my own experience, I've never been infatuated with a girl who acts like that. It's always these fake girls who've got bubbly personalities but may not actually be. And there goes my wife while I'm saying this.
And see, it's kind of, if you're thinking in that realm of things, then you're limiting what this, or you could be limiting what this young woman's portrayal is.
Right.
So,
I appreciate that they try something new with the character. I mean, they obviously tried something new because first of all, she's Hispanic, and a lot of people, these outright people on the internet had a problem with that. But I didn't have a problem. I mean, you got to try something new every once in a while.
I personally like Zendaya a lot.
She's a good-looking woman.
My daughter, was that age at the same time when they had their show on Disney. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of watched the little girl grow up, and then she did the Greatest Showman, and she did a really good job in that movie.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that.
And so I've just kind of watched her grow up, but I see where you're coming from with the portrayal of her character as being this antisocial, against society.
But she's smart. She actually figures out that he's Spider-Man.
Well, she is definitely smart.
Yeah, they really made a point of establishing that, hey, she's a thinking woman. She's just not there to be ogled by Spider-Man. So maybe he's intelligent. Peter Parker has always been intelligent. So maybe, just maybe, he's attracted to her because of that.
And it begs the question on how many Spider-Man movies before have you watched them and like, how are they not figuring out that he's Spider-Man?
Right.
Because you're like...
Well, there was no way he was going to get... And that's another thing. There was no way he was going to get away with it when they're on vacation and Spider-Man is turning up. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah,
it became what was it, monkey? What was...
Monkeys, I forget.
The night monkey.
In the night monkey, yeah.
He was the night monkey.
So the fact that... Oh, what did you think about them changing locations? Because we've had 6 movies where he's in New York.
Man.
And that was tired.
That was some of the most beautiful cinematic special effects created scenery out there today.
No, I think they actually filmed on location.
Well,
I was watching the credits. I think they actually filmed most of that. I don't think a lot of that was in green screens when they were like in Venice and stuff. Obviously, I don't know, but
isn't that a crazy concept?
I saw some locations on there where they actually said they filmed in Prague, and I have to go back and look. But
and they have us totally believing that you could shoot a bunch of drones out and create a virtual reality,
right?
And by all these drones, that was cool though. That was a cool concept.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you feel like they stole the plot from The Incredibles?
A little bit.
Because basically the villain is creating these fake
realities.
No way. He's in the credits. He's using this robot to attack the city, and then his plan is to come in as the hero, and save the city. And that's pretty much
exactly
Mysterio's same idea. He's gonna create these problems with the elementals, and then he comes in and saves. He's gonna save London. That's gonna be his big hero moment, and then he's gonna get all these whatever it is he wants, and be viewed as this hero.
Yeah, because he ultimately wanted to be the most famous of superheroes.
Yeah,
and but he was a complete loon, and Jake Gyllenhaal did a good job at portraying that. I think.
I'm not really a big fan of Jake Gyllenhaal, but he killed it in this movie. I saw him in. He's good at playing. That's probably why I don't like him. He's good at playing just despicable characters. Did you see Nightcrawler?
Yeah.
I hated him in that movie.
Yeah.
The fact that he got away with everything too at the end. Oh, spoilers! If you ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
Hey, it's been out a few years now, so
yeah,
shame on you if you haven't seen it. But the fact that he does all that crazy stuff, and he's just a scumbag throughout the whole movie. But sometimes you can do, if you play a villain and you do it a little bit too well, there's always the danger that your audience is going to turn on you. Which is why there's a lot of A-list actors that won't take villain roles. Even Tom Cruise for most of his career, although he did do one in, what was that movie? Collateral.
Yeah.
But that guy was kind of a little bit more charismatic.
He was that hitman in that one movie with
that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's Collateral, yeah.
Collateral, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just watched that again not long ago. It was pretty good.
But he's likable in that movie. And he kind of actually helped Jamie Foxx grow a little bit as a person.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but most of the time,
at the cost of about 30 people's lives.
Yeah. That's true. But I didn't come from that movie hating Tom Cruise. I came away from Nightcrawler hating Jake Gyllenhaal. It's like he's a little bit too convincing, and yeah, but this movie
he redeemed himself.
He kind of redeemed himself. He was playing a villain again, but he wasn't so unlikable.
He was very likable at the beginning because everybody trusted him.
Exactly.
You know that he tricks Peter into handing over this technology that Tony had given him, and which controlled. It was kind of like his Jarvis, but he had put it into a pair of sunglasses or eyeglasses.
Yeah,
and it gave control of like the entire Stark arsenal.
Who would do that?
I know.
That's the only part of the movie I kind of had a problem. I was like, why would you give this to some teenager?
Yeah, what is he, 17?
You giving him these multi-billion-dollar. It's basically a kill satellite in space full of killer drones.
I mean, he almost kills his MJ's little boy friend, whatever he was.
Why would you give that kind of power to a kid? Tony Stark is just horrible at decisions, making good decisions. So
yeah, I would agree on that.
That part I did not really like, but it was, they had to have something.
They had to, make it. Well, I mean, if you put that kind of responsibility into a child's hands, and he makes a child.
But he does childish things. The first thing he does with it is some childish thing.
Yeah, because he was jealous over a boy.
Right.
And almost kills him.
So that was kind of
They had some pretty good other actors in here, like J.B. Smoove.
Yeah,
he didn't
do much.
He didn't do much, but what he did in J.B. Smoove style.
Yeah, he could. He was good for some
comedy, a little bit of comedy.
Yeah, a little bit, but it wasn't. It wasn't J.B. Smoove comedy.
Hey, but Martin Starr, who played Mr. Mitchell, the other teacher.
Yeah.
I thought he was hilarious. I thought he did a great job.
And I'm totally blanking on
everything. He's in Silicon Valley, which is big on HBO. I don't think you've watched it.
No, I've never watched.
It's about this group of guys that have started this tech startup with this technology that one of them came up with to.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so it's big in the nerd community.
Oh, okay. Well, one other thing nerds might like was that I mentioned the cameo in my no spoilers review, and you didn't know who I was talking about.
I mean, I thought it was him, but I couldn't remember his name. But I thought when you were telling me, was like when Iron Man came out of the grave, you know?
Oh.
And I was like, well, that really wasn't him coming out of the grave. But then I saw him at the end, and I was like, maybe that's who he was talking about.
Well, okay, if you know who we're talking about, they had I'm assuming you've seen the movie, so you know that they brought J. Jonah Jameson back, and I was thinking about this last film. I was wondering really who they were going to get to play him, because J.K. Simmons made that role so iconic in the original trilogy, and I felt like, who was he? In fact, in the Amazing Spider-Man, did they even have that character?
I don't remember.
I've totally obliterated those two movies. I got halfway through the second movie. I didn't even finish watching it. It was so bad. But I don't think they recast him in the second trilogy. But my thinking when I was watching Spider-Man Homecoming, I was like, I wonder if they're gonna Peter Parker's gonna get back to working for the Daily Bugle. I'm like, I wonder who they're gonna get to play J. Jonah Jameson. Who can be better than J.K. Simmons at that role? I was like, man, that'd be great if they actually brought him back, and that's what they did. Because at the very end of the movie, he makes a cameo, and he's exposing this video that Mysterio has left behind.
That is a uh-oh moment for Peter.
He reveals that Spider-Man is Peter Parker, which opens up a whole new can of worms. And he also says that Peter Parker was responsible for his death and all the elemental
he
nonsense.
Edited the video and made it sound like that Peter Parker is a true villain.
So the next movie is going to be Spider-Man deep in jail.
or Spider-Man no longer has a home.
Yeah, something. Yeah, so everything in this trilogy has been some kind of home. Homecoming and Far From Home.
So this one will be no home.
Yeah, no home.
Spider-Man, no home.
But I'm just thrilled they got J.K. Simmons come back, because I was like, that's perfect. There's no reason not to bring him back, because it's not like he's the lead character. He's a supporting character.
Supporting actor. So I think he's great. When I visualize who his character is, that's who I see.
Right.
You know, in any given situation. And he kind of resembles the guy from the comics.
And I'm wondering, because technically Sony still owns the rights to Spider-Man. They're leasing him to Disney. I'm wondering, was that Sony's idea? Did they push for that, or is that something Kevin Feige pushed for?
I don't think it would be something Sony would be like, yeah, you can use them to make money, and we won't.
Yeah, it feels like something Marvel. So my thing is, everybody's been wondering, is Marvel going to be able to continue the magic? And just from that decision alone, it feels like we're still in good hands. I mean, Kevin Feige is still running the whole show. And he's got all these movies under his belt now, so I think it's just going to get better from here on out. That's what it feels like. Because this movie really impressed me. I didn't go in thinking I was going to like it as much as I did.
I liked it more than I've liked a Spider-Man in a long time.
Right. So,
and that includes the last one. And they did a good job. And man, the Easter eggs. all kinds of stuff in there, man.
Like what for instance?
Now that I said it, I'm drawing a blank.
Draw.
But they're in there. I'm sure of it. Did you notice any?
Well, I mean, that was pretty. I mean, that's the only one I can think of. This Jonah Jameson and no, I can't think of any other ones. Probably a ton of them.
Oh yeah, drop them in the description. What you think? what you guys noticed as Easter eggs?
I mean, so it was a good film.
I'm sorry, in the comments I said description.
Yeah, the comments.
No.
But yeah, it was great film. Good, like I said in my review, good summer movie. I mean, it was a perfect movie to release on 4th of July, I think. So
yep. I'm pretty sure our women U.S. team won the World Cup today.
They did?
I'm pretty sure.
I'll
they were winning last time I looked. And this team this year, man, I've watched pretty much all of their games during the World Cup.
Yeah.
And they're really, really good. So go USA.
Yeah, it would be on CNN if they did. Yep, U.S. wins Women's World Cup. So there we have it. So I think on that note, we should end the. You got anything else to add?
No, I mean, thanks for coming by and hanging out with us, and we will see you
when we see you. Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.